Hi, consumers. I'm Carl, the author of Salesman's Tricks Exposed. After decades of mastering the art of persuasion in the sales industry, I'm now sharing those strategies to level the playing field between consumer and salesperson. My goal here is simple: to teach you, the consumer, the techniques and psychology strategies salespeople use to influence consumers to buy unwanted and unneeded products and services. I will break down all their tricks, how they work, and how they influence our everyday buying decisions without us even realizing it. Now, I'm not guessing how sales works. I spent my entire career in the trenches of high-pressured sales environments. You can say I helped write the playbook. And that's exactly why I can help consumers avoid being sold unnecessary products and services. I started selling when I was 14 years old, selling pretzels and flowers on the corners of Philadelphia. Now, there was no training, no script, just learned human behavior and how to deal with rejection and how to keep the pressure on to get the sale. With that training, I worked my way up to becoming an executive sales director at the corporate level in the post-secondary for-profit education industry, operating in high-pressure sales environments with aggressive sales quotas and relentless pressure from performance metrics. Now, where most people learn sales from books, seminars, and courses, I didn't. My sales journey started much earlier, when I was a child, without even realizing it. Let me explain. My father was a professional salesperson, but growing up, I didn't think much about it. My father wasn't sitting me down, teaching me sales techniques. He was just being himself, and I was paying attention. When I was a child, I absorbed how my father used his sales skills everywhere we went as a family. At restaurants, on phone calls, in his office, buying things, returning things. I listened to how he talked to people, his tone, his timing, when he stayed quiet, and when he applied pressure. I wasn't being taught sales. I was absorbing human behavior simply by observing my father in everyday life. Years later, I started noticing the way I talked to people and the way people responded to me in a positive way. The way I negotiated, the way I read the room, the way persuasion came naturally to me. It felt effortless. That's when it hit me. I didn't learn sales from books. I learned it as a child just by watching my father in action. The reason I want to bring awareness to sales tricks is simple. With all the information at our fingertips about scams, fraud, you think consumers would be safer than ever, but they're not. Consumers are still losing billions of dollars every single year to scams, fraud, and high-pressured sales strategies. And here's what most people get wrong. Consumers don't buy unnecessary products and services because they're unintelligent. They buy because in the moment, they're emotionally attached to what is being sold. Think about it. Throughout our lives, we're constantly being forced to make high-pressure decisions. Choosing a school, purchasing a car, buying a home, signing a mortgage, hiring electrician, plumbers, roofers, planning a wedding, planning a funeral, needing a lawyer. These aren't casual decisions. These are emotionally high-pressure moments, and salespeople are trained in each of these situations to push the exact right buttons to keep the pressure on until they get the sale. Now, I'm here to pull the curtain back and expose these sales tricks. To help consumers slow down during these emotional times, recognize the sales tactics, and make decisions with clarity, not under pressure. Now, today's technology might have changed how we buy things, but it hasn't changed why we buy things. And once I teach you that, you will stop buying unwanted and unneeded products and services, you'll start making more confident purchases and become a more informed consumer in the process. Once again, getting sold isn't about being smart or dumb. It's about timing, emotion, and pressure. It would have been easy for me to write a book, sales book, like the many others already on the market, teaching salespeople how to sell anything to anyone. But instead, I did the opposite. I wrote a book, Salesman's Tricks Exposed, to teach consumers the sales tricks salespeople use so they can spot them, understand them, and never have buyer's remorse again. I spent decades coaching and training salespeople on how to sell effectively. Now, I will bring that same passion, dedication to you, so you can spot the sales tricks, protect yourself, stop buying things you never needed in the first place. Everyone thinks they make logical buying decisions. They don't. The truth is, almost every purchase is driven by two powerful sales tools, pain and pleasure. Sales professionals understand this. They're trained to trigger both. In my first episode, I'll show you exactly how these twin forces work against the consumer and are ammunition for the salesperson, and how to stop it from controlling your buying decisions. Remember, sales professionals have an entire arsenal of sales tools on their belt. Consumers need some too. That is why I created the walk-away consumer approach to counter theirs. It's simple. When in doubt, walk away.